First of all, I'm reading a fabulous, incredible book by Anthony Williams III. He is a partner. He is a staff member there at Smart Credit Consumer Direct, and he wrote a book called Unshakable. And I've been reading this book, and it's been amazing to read because it's almost like a different version of a book that I would have wrote, right? Has a lot of the same frameworks, a lot of the same energy and thought processes. And so, as I'm reading that today, even my four P's, he has three P's in his, and I have four P's, and they very much align with each other. But I encourage you to maybe pick up that book, and I'll give you a link as well in the comments so that you can check that out and at the end of the live. So, anyway, I'm really excited. There was a quote in the book that he has in there. The quote is from Chris Voss, and it says this. The more you know about someone's problems, the more power you have to solve them. What a beautiful quote. And Anthony goes on to say, and when someone believes you understand them, they start to trust you, which is so powerful. So, the theme today that we're going to be talking about is earning that trust through understanding. And I like to say to people that all people are motivated by this concept of feeling special. Okay. So as I'm going through this live, I want you to take note, maybe do a little tally, how many times I'm going to say the word special, because it's such an important thing. Again, it is the primary motivator for all of us is the sense of feeling special. You know, even like with the clothes that we wear, right? The clothes that we wear, we want to walk in a room and feel special. The way that our hair is done, the cars that we drive, it's all about this concept of feeling special. And so if we can really understand that, we understand that primary motivator of humans and we can help them by helping them feel special. And so make sure, yeah, I said special quite a few times. I hope you're tallying those that tally that and can tell me at the end through the comments how many times I said special. If you get it right, I'm going to send you a special gift. I always give that 15-minute strategy call that you can have with me, but if you get it right, I'll upgrade that to a 1 hour strategy call with me. Hopefully that delivers a lot of value to you. I will also give you my framework, my GAIN framework, which we talked about a lot, and that four P's framework and flow process so that you have that for your clients and your processes that you're building out for your business. So keep tallying these special words. Okay. When I talk about that people don't buy because they're in fear, they actually buy for that feeling of being special, right? So, I mean, just kind of really think about it for a second in terms of buying a home, right? How many times have I had a client come to me and they want to buy a home? And when we dig deeper in why they want to buy a home, they want to buy it for their family. They want to feel a sense of pride in that they were able to accomplish that. Again, another word for special, right? And so I want you to consider that and kind of think about that and listening to your prospects and your clients about the words that they say. Maybe dive a little bit deeper and see what exactly are they looking for and how is that them getting that going to make them feel special, right? And you can kind of help push them along. Because even those people who do sign up because you were able to do that, you were able to help them feel special and that you have the solution for them, they need reminded of their goal. They need reminded constantly that reaching this goal is going to make them feel this certain way because they forget along the way, especially if there's a lot of obstacles to overcome and maybe the process is hard, right? When we talk about paying down debt, sometimes that could be hard, right? And so reminding them along the way, and we'll talk a lot about that. But grab your notebooks because I'm going to teach you the four P's of framework that can build clarity and trust fast. I will tell you before we get into the four P's that they are, before I dive into them in depth, I should say, they are going to be problem, path, proof, and plan. Problem, path, proof, and plan. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about why prospects don't buy and what that confidence gap is. So, people don't need convincing, they need clarity and they need to feel special. Okay. And I think oftentimes when we are trying to sell our service or a product, we're talking about our features. We're trying to convince them that what we have is the thing that's going to help them get to their goal, right? And so we're pouring on like, well, I do this, and I do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. We do this for people. We do this for people, right? And as we're doing that, we actually haven't connected with the core reason that they're coming to us, which is their goal. We haven't connected to the core human motivation of feeling special. And so we need to change how we talk. Okay, so instead of convincing, we need to start creating clarity for them. Okay. When someone says, I'll think about it, it's not rejection. So anytime you hear the word, I'll think about it, I want you to instantly flip a switch and say, this is not rejection at all. Matter of fact, it's a really good clue of what's happening. When a person says, I'll think about it, they're not feeling like they don't feel safe. Maybe they don't have clarity on the plan or the path that you have for them, that it's actually going to work for them. It may not even be that you didn't clarify the path in the process, but maybe internally they're not sure that they can do the things, right? And so it's a very good clue to you that you need to dive in and ask more questions and get more clear with them about why they're feeling that way. Okay. So it's flip that switch. Stop thinking of rejection and start thinking of, oh, I missed the beat here somewhere. Not sure where, but I can ask some more questions to find out what the gap is, that confidence gap of using me to get you to your goal. Okay. Again, the path might not be clear, or you laid out a path and then they instantly thought, oh, I don't know if I can do that. And now we can kind of talk them through that. Okay. All right. So your job is to remove uncertainty and make them feel valued, make them feel special, right? Listening to them, understanding them, asking more questions so that you really understand where they're at and how you can help them. Um, we have to also understand that there's three core reasons that people will hesitate in terms of purchasing from you. Okay. One is they don't have a vision. Okay. And so, again, if they're saying, I have to think about it, you need to go back and say, okay, did I put a real clear vision for them? And what I mean by vision is, when I'm talking to a prospect, I do online consultations. So I'm doing a Loom video, it's recorded. I'm not actually having conversation back and forth, but I want to create this picture of like, here's your goal and help them visualize that it is actually something they can achieve. Laying out the path clearly in maybe three steps, very simply, not overloading them. We're going to do this and this and this and this, but laying out this simple path that assures them that I know the path that's going to take them to get to their goal. So helping them visualize that they can actually do it, what that path looks like, is where a lot of times we miss the beat in our sales consultation calls. So having no vision is one reason for hesitation. No path is the other reason. So having that clear path, right? Don't overload them, don't dump them with everything, but maybe three core steps in your path, right? So that they understand that you do have a path and they can see themselves jumping from step to step to step to get to their goal. That's really important. And the last one is no proof. This is huge. This is why I harp and harp and harp on you getting Google reviews. People need proof, but you can also in the consultation provide proof. So what I like to do in my consultations, if you've ever heard me talk, is if you were to come to me and you said my goal is to buy a house, and you give me some more detail and clarity on that, I might pick out a client that I've helped that has the same story, has a very similar process or experience or goals or anxieties about something, and I'll say, hey, I helped XYZ client do this and they did it at such and such rate and got here in so many days, right? So providing that proof, letting them go back and see Google reviews is always great, having that kind of in your drip campaigns as well. So no proof is the third reason for hesitation. So we have three core reasons for hesitation: no vision, no path, and no proof. But surrounding that in the big circle is feeling special, right? So all of that, I should be thinking of, how do I show them in no vision, how to provide a vision for them that makes them feel special, that they're the center of the story, they are the hero of the story. Path, that they're able to accomplish the path, that the path is specifically made for them. It's tailored for them, not we do this, but we're going to do this for you, right? Making it very special. And then the proof, showing them that there are people that similar situations who have done this too, and they can too. So those are the three core reasons people hesitate. Put a big circle around that and say special. Okay, so people want to feel special. But you want to help them picture their future and feel special in that story. Hesitation will then disappear. So I often talked about the story of a young man who came to me who wanted to buy a home. And when I dug deeper about why he wanted to buy a home, he wanted to buy a home because he didn't feel that he was being a good husband, a good father. He felt like, in his words, a loser. And so I was able to use those words that he was using and help him see that he wasn't, and that we have a path to getting to the place that he wants to be that's going to make him feel like a good father and a good husband and not a loser. Right. And so by doing that and helping him visualize his own story and this hero concept that he's the hero, I was able to alleviate any hesitation that he had, right? And make him feel special. That's a key word. And in yourself. I hope you, that's the one word I want you to grab today. Special, helping them feel special. So, and that's exactly what the 4P framework that I'm going to go over to with you does. It creates clarity, confidence, in that connection in under 5 minutes. Okay. And I hope you take me up on this, but I teach a class called Online Consultation. So those of you who are listening to this live, if you are a financial or credit coach or any kind of a coach of any matter, maybe you're a life coach, doing online consultations is something that I have incorporated in my business, and it's been magic for me because I'm not spending 45 minutes on a phone conversation, but I'm spending, I think the most I spend is 7 minutes, but I'm going to give it to you in five, right? 5 minutes of this Loom video that I do back to the consumer and get them to sign up. And I'm going to give you a quick story because I have a person that I coach, a business that I coach right now, and he took me up on this 4Ps process and he implemented it. He's doing online consultations using the 4Ps process and the GAIN framework that I've talked about several times with you guys. And he went to having a business where he was really underpricing himself. He was on the phone for 45 minutes or longer, pouring into people. Like they can ask him everything, and he's helping them with all these different things that are all on, side note things. And he loved it. He loved doing that, but he was also feeling burnout because sometimes at the end of those conversations, the person would say, "Well, I just can't afford this," or, they balk at his price and things like that. And what we learned from that conversation, me and him, is that he was pouring into people, but he was giving all the features and I do this and I do that, and giving them this information when in fact he didn't help them see a vision. He didn't actually help them see a path, and he didn't make them feel special. And lastly, that feeling of, showing proof in the pudding, right? So once he started incorporating that, he's like, I got a life again, and I am going to raise my prices because I don't have people balking at my prices. And he said it is almost 100% conversion from what he was doing before at 45 minutes to a 5 minute consultation on Loom, and he's having almost 100% conversion. So I tell you that story because it works. I've seen it happen with a lot of clients, but this particular client has just wowed me in all of his progress. Really, really taking to heart the 4Ps, and I hope you do too. So I want to go over those with you today. And like I said, if you write down how many times I say the word special, I'll deliver the 4Ps and the GAIN framework to you.